Hey, thanks for joining me today. Not long ago, I produced and arranged a CD for a young guy who has this Michael Bublé, Harry Connick Jr. sound to his voice. He and I produced a Christmas CD that has a lot of classic Christmas songs with a kind of a jazz arrangement, jazz guitar accompaniment to them. And so he and I went out and did a bunch of concerts right before Christmas. It was a lot of fun. And during that, though, I realized, man, I put a lot of work into these arrangements. Let's go ahead and put them on paper so other people can learn them, and especially guitar players. And I went a step further for guitar players and actually put in chord diagrams and some instructions on the different voicings and the different shapes I was using here. So let's go ahead and look at one of those. God rest ye merry gentlemen, let nothing you dismay. Remember Christ our Savior was born on Christmas Day to save us all from Satan's power when we were gone astray. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy. Blessed babe was born and laid within a manger upon this blessed morn, to which his mother Mary did nothing take in scorn. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy. Sing praises, are you within this place? And with true love and brotherhood, each other now embrace. All right, so that was God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen. And if you listen to it on the CD, it's much better because I'm not singing it. Joel is singing it, and he does a great job. But let's look at the chords in here and some of the stuff that I was doing. If you notice on the recording, if you hear that one, and you can listen to it at WorshipTeamCoach.com, just type in Jazz Christmas in the search box there, and you'll be able to find it. And but you'll notice that one I played on electric guitar. It's a semi-hollow body, kind of flat wound strings, kind of has a little bit jazzier tone to it. But honestly, I was just too lazy to drag all my stuff in here today, so we're just going to use the acoustic. So let me go through just some of the stuff I was doing here. The intro began with octaves. So if you notice the music, it actually says E minor 9, E flat 7, E flat 9, D add 4, and I'm not playing any of those chords. All I'm doing is just playing the root. And so I'm starting off and just walking down from the 7th fret down to the 3rd. And when after I play the C major 7 and go to the C sharp minor 7 flat 5, instead of an octave, I play this kind of just part of that chord. And then I play usually just the bass note and then slide up to this B7 sharp 5. And what that is, it's like this B7 chord, and we talked about this shape in the Hark the Herald, so if you want to watch that, you'll get an idea of what this 7th chord shape is doing here, the dominant 7th. But we take this note right here, which is the 5th, and we raise it up 1, and that creates a sharp 5. So we've got a B7 sharp 5. A lot of tension there, all right? And so then it continues just to do the walk down. And if you notice, I don't even play the chord here. I just hit it on the F sharp and slide it up. So that creates a nice sound. All right, before we move on and look at those chords, let's talk a little bit what I was doing with my thumb there and with the octaves. Octaves are cool on guitar because not only do you get just the 2 octaves, but you get kind of the brush of the thumb on the strings, and it's a real jazz technique to play it with your thumb. And so what I'm doing here is I'm just on the E, so it's the 7th fret, 9th fret, strings 5 and 3, and I'm just skipping over everything else, and I'm muting the low string with the tip of this finger, so that's not ringing out. I'm muting this string, the D string, with my first finger just kind of sloughing down. Of course, I'm playing the third string, then muting this one, and I'm actually not muting this one with this finger. I guess I could, but I'm kind of hitting it with my back of my, or the part of my finger back here. So I just walk that down. A couple other things you can do with this. You can actually pluck it, and I've done that in this song too. It sounds kind of cool, kind of orchestral plucking of kind of the like violins and stuff. Besides the pluck though, what I'm doing here, if I was just plucking, it would just kind of sound like that. What I'm doing to give it that feel is I'm actually doing a palm mute. So my palm is resting on the strings, pretty much strings and bridge. You actually kind of got to find that balance between on the strings and on the bridge where it's completely ringing out. So for a palm mute, you're kind of on the bridge and on the strings at the same time. So that gets that nice little kind of octave feel. All right. You can also do it with a pick if you want. Just gives it a little bit harsher sound, not harsher sound, but just a little bit brighter sound and thicker and everything like that. So just do it how you want to. Let's look at the chords that are coming in next. So we just play all these octaves up into that B7 sharp 5. And then we just go to a straight old, you know, Mel Bay chord book A minor, and that we all know. And then the bass line starts moving. And so we then, instead of the low A here as our bass note, we actually put our pinky down for the G in the bass. And then we go to an F sharp in the bass, and unless you've got like crazy wild fingers that can do neat stuff that mine can't do, you need to change your fingering around. And so what I do is I go from here and I lift up and drop, and you can leave your first finger in place. I don't know if I do or not. I don't think about it, I guess. I probably shift over a little bit there just to make room. So we've got the A minor over G, then we have the A minor over F sharp. And what that is that actually is creating a minor 7 flat 5 and F sharp minor 7 flat 5, but honestly, knowing an A minor and then figuring out what an F sharp is in the bass kind of gives it that walk down feel. So I just communicated it by more the bass note and the top chord versus what the chord really is. So A minor over G, A minor over F sharp, and then I do a B7, but I don't come up to this B7 we played before. I just play this kind of open shape, which is using the open string there, and then I hit the F sharp up there, the 5th of the chord. All right, so to save us all from Satan's power, and then when we were gone astray, just goes to a straight E minor. When we were, and then gone actually is an E minor with D in the bass, and since I don't have any low Ds below this E, on this E string here, I just go up, and so instead of walking down, I jump up almost an octave, actually it's a flat 7. So when we were gonna, and this is just a crazy little chord I'm playing here. It just doubles the G there, so I'm keeping this E minor shape. There's nothing like cool about it. It's just easy to do, and it gets the sound. There's probably some better chords there you might find, and you can play them there. But so when we were gonna stray, this one's gonna take a while to learn. It is, if you watched Hark the Herald, that version, we talked about an F over A, which is like a kind of a power chord down here, a root 5th root, so F, C, F, with an A in the bass, which is the 3rd of the chord, so it's an F over A. We're essentially doing the same thing here. We're playing an E, we're playing an A chord, an A, and then we put the C sharp in the bass. So here's the A power chord, A, E, A, C sharp in the bass. But if you notice, then it's an A7, and so we got to take this note right here and drop it down 2. Drop it down a whole step or 2 frets. And so what we do is we change it around and we play this crazy chord right there. And again, it takes a while to grab, but you know, you just want to practice grabbing it just at first, just learning how to play it, but then grabbing it in context of the song. So coming from the E minor to the E minor over D to the, you get that sound, and then coming out of it to the G. So bum, bum, bum. And so you don't hear it as well on the strings that it's going down, but you go, that's the bass line that's happening there. So when we were gone astray. All right. Now we go to tidings. And that's another little bit of a walk down there. We start off with just a G. And sometimes I play just this kind of open G here. Sometimes I'll open up the B. It just depends. A tidings. And there's that F sharp, or yeah, F sharp minor 7 flat 5. We looked at it before and we called it an A minor with an F sharp in the bass. Alright, so we go G, F sharp minor 7 flat 5, and then here's a weird part. I actually just drop down and play the B here, and then I slide up and play the B7 sharp 5 up here. Now if you want, you could play tidings of comfort and do the switching up here. I tend to, for whatever reason, just play the B7 down in open position and then slide up for the B7 sharp 5. So tidings of comfort and joy. Now this part's cool. You hit the E minor, just a straight E minor bar chord there, 5th string root. Joy, and it's a 7, so you can pull the pinky off if you want, but just the straight minor sounds good there, because this is a real kind of minor sounding song. Tidings of comfort and joy. And what I do here, since there's some space, I actually walk the bass line down to the A7. So comfort and joy. Alright, so watch what I did there. Tidings of comfort and joy. And I did a little hiccup there on the, I kind of, as I played, I was actually pulling my finger off to go to that A, so it just kind of gives it a quick muty kind of sound. So the walk down there is 7th fret, 5th string, which is an E, and then a D natural up on the 6th string, C sharp, B, and then to the A. So, alright, so let's look at it again. Tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. And then it does go back to another G, but this time we go up. Tidings, this is a G sharp diminished 7. So that one doesn't take a lot to learn how to play, but it is kind of a weird feeling chord where you're barring in the middle and playing around it. So tidings of, and then B7 sharp 5 we know, B, and then and then at the end I just put this little half step thing in there. I tried that, but that's a little too Doobie Brothers. So I just went down a half step and came up. So tidings of comfort and joy. Alright. Now, so we looked at the octaves on the beginning of the verses. In the second verse, I actually play those chords instead of the octaves. And so that actually, you thought you were done, but now you have to learn these crazy chords. So we start off on an E minor 9. And actually it's on the chart, it's marked an E minor 9, but I think I've kind of settled into just playing a straight E minor 7. But it's not the E minor 7 you know down here. It actually is another kind of jazz voicing that's up here. And what it's doing then, it's just kind of walking this chord down and over top, and so it gives it this nice little half step walk, but then these chords are kind of rich underneath. So it starts off on this E minor 7, and then it goes to an E flat 7 flat 9. Pretty ugly. Again, I'm barring here, playing here, and what you want to do is you want to keep these fingers kind of in place because they're just moving down. So here's the 9, the E minor 9. I kind of like the 7th better. So God rest ye merry gentlemen. Okay, Over gentle is this D add 4. And what all it is it's not really a jazz chord so much, it's the C chord moved up. And so you've got this kind of rich sounding with the 4 in there, the G, but then they have sharps right next to it. So on its own it's kind of ugly. But together it's a nice sounding thing. And if you happen to hit the high E, that adds the 9 to it, or the 2, and so that can be a real rich sounding chord. So listen to that. God rest ye merry gentlemen. Alright, so, and then it goes to this C diminished 7. And what you can do to imagine this chord, actually play a C7, this 5th string root here, and then just put your 2nd finger down, raising the root. And that creates the C sharp diminished 7. After a while, you don't need to put the bar in there. If you can just grab that note back there with 1, then you're not working as hard. And with a full diminished, every 3rd chord, or you move it up a 3rd, a minor 3rd, and it's the same chord just over and over and over. So that's kind of a crazy sounding chord. So here's that progression down again. E minor 7, E7 over 9. And kind of on its own, it's not real great, but if in the rhythm of the song, okay, now here's a little bit more normal chord. It's just this C major 7, jazz kind of voicing of it. And then what we do from there, let nothing you we just walk up the bass line 1. And this is what they call a half diminished. But in jazz and pop circles, it's more commonly known as a minor 7 flat 5. So it goes from a C major 7, all you do is move the root up a half step and becomes a C sharp 7 flat 5. Say that again, C sharp minor 7 flat 5. So C major 7, C sharp minor 7 flat 5. All right, and then we go back to our F7 there, and so before when we were just playing the octaves we just hit the bass note here, but now we hit the full chord and we still do a nice little slide. So boom. So I just hit that and then slide on up to my B7 there, and actually B7 sharp 5. All right, so then that little progression repeats and you get back into the A minor and stuff like that. And so in the 3rd verse, then if you listen on the CD, it's actually a download. I always say CD, but anyway, if you listen to the recording, it goes to kind of this slow rubato, and I go back to octaves. Now to the Lord sing praises, all you within this place, and then eventually it kicks back up to tune, to tempo there. So, cool. Well, that's God Rest You Merry Gentlemen. If you're interested in checking out this CD or the guitar book that goes with it, go ahead, go to WorshipTeamCoach.com and just type in Jazz Christmas. You'll be able to find that. Hey, have a great Christmas, and I hope you're able to learn some of this stuff. Drop me an email, and I'd love to talk to you about this. See ya.